Hello, Mr. Miyagi, a fellow manga and comic creator with about 4 years of experience working with manga and comics. And today, I would like to be your guide to help you get through the digital world of comics. If right now you're considering to switch from a traditional to a digital workflow, then this video is for you. Right now, I'd like to help you by sharing my experience as in the past, I have worked more traditionally when I started getting into manga and comics in general. So I was broke back then, and I didn't have money to buy me a tablet or a display. So I used to draw on my notebook. Then I had to grab the mouse to do the line art on digital. But anyways, this video I would like to highlight the struggles and everything you need to start working digitally. So this video is not going to be a deep guide on how to start drawing your comic from zero, but more like I just want to highlight the struggles and what you will need starting working digitally. Imagine that you're switching from traditional to start working digitally. I'd like to highlight the struggles and the benefits that you could have by working digitally. So I hope you find this video helpful. Before starting, I even wanted to apologize for the quality of the video. I wasn't planning to make a video, so I just grabbed the first screen recorder I saw, and my phone camera isn't that good also. So right now the video where I'm sketching a page transitioning really fast. It's not the best of quality, so sorry about it. Sorry for this. So a reminder that this video is not to discuss the pros and cons of both digital and traditional media. I believe that everyone has their way of doing it. I believe that everyone should go for whatever that it makes them feel more comfortable. But my goal isn't to directly compare them. Instead, I just want to share some of the challenges I encountered while working traditionally that were often more easy to solve when I switched to digital. So let's go. So some of the struggles I faced while working traditionally include time management. With this I mean how much time it took me to work traditionally. Then when I switched it to digitally, I noticed a big difference, like really big. This being money, how much money I spent while working traditionally compared to how much money I'm spending now while working digitally. Assets and tools. In this case, being how easy it is to find assets and tools digitally, how available they are in comparison to traditional, and colors and screen tones. Whether you are working on a webcomic, you're probably gonna use colors, or even if you don't use colors, manga uses a lot of screen tones, and overall and traditionally it's really hard to do this. So I'll go through these topics one by one, and at the end of the video I will give my overall overview on both of them, traditionally and working digitally, and what I think about the topic. So the first one being obviously time. One of the most significant advantages of working digitally is how much time you can save just by using basic tools like Ctrl Z and Ctrl Y. Ability to instantly undo and redo actions is something traditional methods can match, or even dream to match. Just you guys can imagine how much time it saves just to instantly delete something without going to the trouble of getting an eraser or something like this. And you also have the layers that alone I could make a whole video about them, just how layers could save you a bunch of time, how to use vector layers and other types of tools. But I don't want to get through that. I don't want this video to be so long. So basically, layers, you can use the layers for many things. Like when you're transitioning from a sketch to the line art, you can just do everything in separate layers, and you can, different from the traditional where you only have a canvas, you can also use layers to separate different elements from your illustration. Like if you're trying to color something, like you could just do this, like paint the hair above and create a layer below it, so you can easily color the skin without interfering with the other colors. Registered materials also alone, I could make a whole video about them and many ways to use it, but again, the video will be too long. So in simple words, is basically where you store your materials, where when you download something from the store, the asset store. I will talk about the asset stores later. Or when you create a material, they will be there, here, like here. In general, I could talk about many ways that on how working digitally can save you a bunch of time. There is a lot to talk about in this topic. A lot of tools that can save you time. But we have other topics to talk about, like how much money you can save from working digitally. As someone who has worked traditionally for a long time, I can assure you that switching to digitally will save you a bunch of money. Instead of constantly buying pens, ink, and paper, or dealing with printing costs and a bunch of other stuff, you can simply use a tablet or display that you can find some affordable ones on Amazon or eBay if you want to buy a refurbished one. I know it must be overwhelming to choose what hardware to use, but I can guarantee you from that whatever you choose, it can perfectly get the job done. Whether you choose a pen tablet or pen display, it will get the job done. The main difference might be some of the prices, like normally the tablets you can find it way cheaper, and displays, some of them are just unreasonably too expensive. But still, there's some, I would say, affordable options. Like if you go to eBay and buy a refurbished one, you can save a lot of money. But if not, no problem. I'm assuming that you have a PC. Just grab your PC, grab any pen tablet that you see out there, and just go for it, man. Yeah, pen tablets are amazing. I got a little surprised when I got my first one. I got surprised from everything I could do. But the only reason I'll be switching from tablet to display is because I want to be able to work when I'm not home. Because for a tablet you will need a PC, a setup to work, and for the display, usually the small ones like Wacom One, you can work with them and draw whatever you want. Now assets and tools, but before talking about assets and tools, I obviously have to talk about Clip Studio Paint. That is the software that I use to make my comics. And what is it? So Clip Studio is basically your best friend. It's a software used for digital creation of comics, illustration, 2D animation, basically everything you could possibly do. You can even use photo editing, but that's not the main point. Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about this. You probably know what Clip Studio Paint is, and we are not here to blaze it or anything. We're not getting sponsored or anything, so let's just move on. And now we have pen and brushes. When it comes to pens and brushes, you'll never run out of options. From the starter brushes to the asset store to creating your own brushes, you choose whatever you like. Brushes are literally everything you need to start drawing your comics. If you're coming from a more traditional media, then just imagine this as your ink pack with all your pencils and pens, ink, yeah. As for paneling, we have many options. We could go just to new and create. There are already customized comic files, the canvas that you can use. I have here too. This is for comics. This is the one that most people use, like without the settings, and I think that, yeah, just, or you could just create your own blank canvas and use the frames to customize in your own way, like perfectly fine. Just go for whatever works with you. And now we have buttons and fonts here. As you can see, there are many options from ellipse to rounded to curve. You can also choose from, you can download from the asset store more types of balloons that can save you a lot of time. But I would enjoy this for sure. You can see right here, and you can edit with a balloon, and if you like to do that, just here. As for writing your dialogues, you probably need fonts. You can just come here and text. The one that I commonly use is CCY Words. That is the one that most people use for manga in general. Every font you install in your computer will be here. Dialogues, sound effects, anything. You can come just here. And as for someone who has worked traditionally, I know how tough it can be to do the speed and focus line. So in Clip Studio Paint you can just come here to figures and go to speed or focus line. Here's in a perfect example of how I use in this page from one shot I was working on. These are the speed lines, as you can see. Now these are the focus line. And traditionally you have to draw one of these lines one by one, but here it's really easy to do it. Yeah. And as for screen tones, it allows you to add texture really fast on some clouds. This is not, it's usually used for rocks and harder textures, but in this case we are adding texture to these character clouds. Really easy. Here you can adjust the tone by the tone density by going up or down, whether you would like it darker or lighter. You can also have a color version of your skin tone by going to layer color and change it. But in this case it's here where you can change the color of your skin tones. In this case it's a manga page, so we better let it how it was. As for colors, assuming that you're gonna need to color your comic, in case you're doing a webcomic, for example, that are so popular nowadays, you'll likely need it to work digitally, and I just wanted to show some of the significant advantages that you have by working digitally. You have the color wheel to change and choose your values. The filter that can save you a lot of time by instantly coloring the surrounded area. You have gradients, eyedropper to choose the color. So there are tons of assets and tools and ways on how you can use them to color your webcomic, but this alone is a topic that could have a video of itself. This is something that you can go through looking one by one. I'm thinking about bringing more videos to the channel, so maybe this is the next topic. Now we have some extra tips. These are personally some of the things that I use to make my comic pages more appealing. It's something that it really depends on which style you're going through, but I use this a lot, so maybe it will be helpful for you too. Here the first one is blur. Blur can be used for a bunch of stuff, and an example here is to use it to blur the backgrounds or item people on the second plane of the illustration to emphasize the most important parts, like this character here. Obviously it should be the focus point of the illustration, and by blurring the stuff on the background, I think it just looks a little bit better maybe. Action blur, like I like to call it, or motion and radical blur, I like to use it to make to give this blurrish effect that makes the characters look like it's moving, not just characters, but I'd like to have more examples here on how she is, so let me see if I can find some. So here's an example of blur being used on the background to give emphasis to the elements here, the important elements of the illustration. Here again too. And here is where I used the motion blur, just to make it look like these things are moving. Yeah. And that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. Again, I wanted to apologize for the quality of the video. I know it's not great, but as I said before, I couldn't get a better screen recorder, and the quality of my phone camera is not the great also. So, but hopefully it was a little bit helpful. Maybe if you were considering going from traditional to a more digital media, hopefully this video was able to help you a little bit. Maybe it will be easier for you now. Consider commenting if you got any questions. I'll be looking through and answer as soon as possible. And if you like my work, if you're interested in reading my comics, just follow me on social media. I will be leaving the link in the description. So again, thank you guys. See you.